Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining. Welcome to September's Partner Playback. Some holidays seem a distant memory, and the children are back in school for some. Thank goodness. So, just some intros. I'm Nicola Brumell, Partner Sales Manager, and I'm joined today by Stephen Warburton, our Managing Director for Partner and Consumer, and Andy Sale, our Portfolio Connectivity Manager. So this is our third playback, and it's an opportunity for us to give you some updates about what we've been up to for the last 3 months. It's also a chance to give us some direct feedback by a Q&A chat function, which you'll be able to have access to a little later on. So we've got quite a packed agenda today, so let's kick off. I think Steve's going to speak to us about the WLR switch off. So yes, Steve, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Nicola, and morning, everyone. Thanks for joining today's webinar. So, yeah, a bit of an update on the switch off first of all. And you recall on the last webinar we held back in May, we shared the news from Openreach that they were extending the switch off date to Jan 27 to accommodate vulnerable customers. So the kind of latest update from our point of view is that we're making good progress. We continue to migrate plenty of lines, and big thank you to those partners that are helping to support with those migrations. I know we've been working really closely with you, and that's been going well. So the next step is I'd like to give you some early visibility this morning that on the 1st of December 2024, we're going to announce the 12-month notice of the withdrawal of our WLR services. So that's WLR, ISDN2, ISDN30, ADSL and FTTC with effect from the 2nd of December 2025. So that'll be the date at which we withdraw those services. As I say, with the exception of vulnerable circuits and lines, they'll continue to be provided up until January of 2027, as per Openreach's announcement. We'll also, throughout 2025, be introducing some price increases on those services. That'll start from April 2025. We'll announce those increases in January once we've received our supplier increases. Again, really to further incentivise this move from the legacy copper services over to the new IP services. So if you need any more support, or you want any help, or you want any more information about those plans, then do get in touch with your account manager or your PX manager or myself or Andy. We'll be happy to support where we can. So that's the latest on WLR.
Awesome. Thanks, Steve. Next up, I believe you have some exciting updates for us regarding the annual partner event.
Yeah, annual partner event next, yeah. So, I'm sure many of you are eager to find out what's going to be happening about this year's partner event. I know some of you have been in touch in recent weeks asking about that. So firstly, following the feedback we had from last year's event, and also we've had some great feedback on these webinars. You know, we decided to do these webinars on a quarterly basis to give you more regular updates rather than this kind of once a year blast of information updates from Zen. And we've had great feedback. I think this more regular updates working well for many of you. So that's really good to hear. So we're really keen to continue to I guess mix up our approach. So we're going to look at running some more regular social events and workshops for our partners to give you the opportunity to meet Richard, to meet myself, to meet the wider team on a more regular basis, face to face, rather than the kind of once a year event that we've done up to now. So really keen to hear your feedback, hear your thoughts about what you'd like to see from those events, where you'd like them to be hosted, how often do we host them, what sort of content do we cover. I think we're going to run a survey post the webinar today to give you the opportunity to ask some questions and get some thoughts. So ultimately, we're not planning to do the annual partner event in November like we normally do, but we're going to replace that with more regular events throughout the year and more news to follow on that fairly soon.
Sounds awesome. Can't wait to see what we can all come up with. So next up, we're on cellular backup and the product launch for that.
Yeah, okay, great. So backup. I think we announced back in May that we were making good progress with development of that product. It's been going well. I know Andy shares some detail around how it works, etc. on that last webinar. So I'm pleased to say that we made good progress, and we've had trials running with a few partners over the last few months. And we're now in a position to start to accept more customers onto that service. So if you'd like to know more about the service itself, the commercials, the onboarding process, then please reach out to your account manager. If you just would like to crack on and pre-register and get on with it, then that's fine too. You can register via a link we're going to share post the webinar today. Again, if you'd like to speak to me or Andy to get some more detail, we're happy to get involved. So yeah, we're ready to go. Can't wait.
Yeah, we're really excited for the long-awaited launch of that product. Feeding onto that, Andy, we've got some parts for you to discuss. So lots of updates in terms of new product releases for broadband. So do you want to kick us off?
Yeah.
To let us know where we're at with that.
Yeah. Thanks, Nicola. So I've got a list because quite a long list of things, updates that we've done, and these are all really based on partner feedback. It's all things that people have suggested or asked for on these webinars or at the partner event last year. So I think we'll go through them and hopefully everyone's aware a lot of these already, and if not, we'll welcome hearing about them. So. Well, we'll start, and I think we mentioned this one on the last playback. It's the 1.2 and 1.8 gigabit per second FTTP that we launched, and that's proving to be really popular. Got a lot of demand, particularly over the last month or two. We've seen a big ramp up in that, and we've seen. I guess we're still the only wholesaler out there in the market that are offering these speeds, so you can't go and get that from anybody else. So any partners that are taking that have got. I guess they've got an advantage on other organisations that are working with wholesalers. I won't mention any names, but you can stand out in the market, which is, I guess, a really crowded market, and offer really fast, competitive, and more reliable services than you would have been able to otherwise. So that's been going for a couple of months now. We've also, in the last 3 months, released advanced install for FTTP and Sagia. So this is installations of FTTP and Sagia into those more complex sites. So we're talking, factories, hospitals, shopping centres, and it gives will extend the reach of the product much further into a building. So it's about 100 metres. They'll use existing trays, cable trays, ducting and things like that in order to get the connection to where it's really needed. So it differentiates from the standard and premium that we've had around for a long time, which gives sort of 10 and 30 metres. So it's 100 metres. So there's basically you can get FTTP and Sagia installed wherever you need it now. SSRAMs as well for FTTP. So we've had SSRAMs available on sort of those copper installations for as long as I can remember, but we can now offer it on FTTP. So SSRAMs, for those who don't know, that's it's basically site-specific risk and access methods. So it's how an engineer goes out to wherever you want it installed. They work out how it's going to be installed, the method and any risks, and document that and can provide it. So this is particularly important for some landlords. A lot of government sites, especially schools and things like that, will want those kind of risk statements, and so we can provide that for FTTP as well as for copper-based installations now, and you just request it when you're placing your order in ICP or via the API. Check the box and we'll do that for you. Obviously a little bit of a cost, but we're just flowing through the OpenReach cost, so there's no markup or anything on there. Next up, so these are not released yet, but are coming probably before the end of this month, which it's non-standard installation. So this is getting Sagia into places like uninhabitable sites. So that's what we used to call non-served premises. OpenReach have changed the terms a little bit and call it uninhabitable now. So this is street furniture, telegraph poles, cabinets in car parks for car park monitoring systems. It's garages or outbuildings or things like that. So we'll be able to support that. Hot sites as well. So hot sites, these are addresses around about electricity substations where there's a risk of voltage jumping onto the line. So we can handle installations at hot sites using line isolation units. We'll also come temporary sites as well, supporter cabins on building sites, that kind of thing. We'll be able to support all of that as well. So they're all coming in the next few weeks. We've also got some self-serve abilities. So one of the things you've been crying out for is the ability to change appointments yourself via ICP rather than having to contact us and we amend it for you. So that's coming very soon as well, before the end of the month, where you'll be able to just log into ICP and change an appointment yourself, pick the next available one or one on a more convenient time to meet your customers' requirements. And then, so another one that we're working on slightly further out, but hopefully again before the end of the month, ready for Zen's new financial year starting in October, is 12, 24 and 36 month contract options. So this is something that was asked for at our partner event last year and has been asked for a couple of times on these Playback webinars as well. So we'll offer those different options. We obviously, you all know we offer a month option already. So the month option will stay, and we'll bring in those new 12, 24, 36, and they will see reductions in activation and rental fees as you move up the contract terms. So obviously the very best rates on 36 months, 24 being the next best, and so on. So hopefully that will help partners compete more in the market by signing, especially those partners that sign up their customers for longer terms will reflect that, and you'll be able to offer better rates or improve your margins if you think the rates are already good enough. So that's on broadband, which is quite a lot of things to go through there. We've also done some things on the Ethernet side as well. So on Ethernet, let me pull up my list again so I don't miss anything. So 5-year contracts. So forever we've offered 12 months and 36 month options on Ethernet. We've now got a 5-year option, so we can provide 5-year pricing, particularly if you're signing your customers up for longer or it's to support a bid or an opportunity. We can do 5-year pricing as well. Obviously improved rates again compared to 36 months. We can do wires only fractional 10 gig. This has been around for a little while, but I don't think it's widely known. So speeds of 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 10 gigabits per second. We can offer that wires only. We'll have managed hardware coming for that very soon as well. But at the moment, it's without the hardware, so you can put whatever is appropriate on there for your customers. And we're also running a special offer with TalkTalk Business. So any TalkTalk Business sites where Zen's not already Zen's not on net, so you get the best rate with Zen on net, but where Zen's not available, TalkTalk is, we'll give you 3 months free. That's on 500 meg, a gig and faster. So we can offer 3 months on any of those deals as well. So it's I guess, and you're getting free installs. So it's a really good offer to get customers connected with the lowest upfront cost. There's basically no commitment on the upfront, and 3 months free.
Awesome.
I think that's everything.
You sure?
Yeah, so there's quite a lot to go through this time, and appreciate some of those. They're only small things, but I think that's the approach we're trying to take going forward, is continually improve on our offerings by making lots of small incremental improvements to all the different products that we offer.
Yeah, there's some quite big changes there coming up. We're going to hear the partner account manager's inbox is blowing up as we speak. So
Exactly. Yeah.
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you.
So I guess that takes us on to the Q&A time. So if you could send those over to me, I have got a couple of questions coming in already. But yeah, keep them coming over. So the first one we've got in is around cellular. So we already sell mobile and do some backup service for customers. Why should I consume from you? So what makes you different?
Yeah.
Yes, that's for you, Andy.
It's a really good question. So on cellular backup, we're not just giving you a SIM card that you plug in and then it fails over onto the mobile network and you get completely different IP addresses. So it's not the same as just buying pay-as-you-go SIM card from the newsagent down the road. In the network, we've linked the mobile service to the broadband service, so they share an IP address. So if the primary broadband service goes down, you fail over to the cellular service, which could be 4G or 5G, depending what's available in the area, and you'll retain the IP address. So you've got continuity of the service. Things like VPNs, or if you've got any services hosted there, will continue to be accessible. We think that's unique in the market. We're not aware of any other wholesalers that are offering a service like that. and that integration between the two is what makes Zen service unique. And also, I guess we've built it, the product for partners in the same way as the product that we consume from our supplier, which means you get a pool of usage. So every customer you add 4G or 5G backup to, the pool of usage increases. So you don't have to go and buy a SIM card with loads and loads of data on it to support customer just in case they might use it. It's a small amount per SIM card, and then that pool is available to any customer. So as they fail over, any of those services can dip into that pool and use the data, which keeps the cost as low as possible. It makes it really cost-effective solution, much cheaper than providing the likes of just even a second broadband service. So it's a fraction of the cost of doing it.
Thanks, Andy. And just to follow on from that, so there is a question here from Daniel. So with the 4G failover service, do you include hardware or do you just sell the SIM card?
So it's the SIM card, and then the linking in the network and the IP addressing. So yeah, the hardware is not included. So partners can continue to use the CPE vendor that they prefer. So that might be Draytech, it might be AVM. That's what we're using for the service we've built for our direct customers. So Fritzbox. It might be Cisco, or it could be any other of the vendors. But yeah, we give that flexibility and choice out to the partner. We're not going to mandate that you've got to use this one thing.
Perfect. Thanks, Andy. I hope that answers your question, Daniel. And another question on cellular backup. So what cellular network have you chosen for your 4G backup?
Great question. So it's a multi-network SIM card. So it picks from, so you will get the strongest signal from a Vodafone 3 or O2. So it'll go to whichever is the strongest there. And that gives, I guess, it means that the service works right across the country. You're not linked to, it's only in Vodafone areas. This part of the UK doesn't have a great signal. We've got the 3 networks. It'll pick whichever's the strongest out of those 3. And if something was to happen to one of them, it'll then roam over onto another network. So when you install the service, if Vodafone was the strongest signal, but then 3 became the strongest signal later down the road, it will move to 3. You're not tied into one network.
Great. And then probably the last question up to now. Oh no, another one's just come in. Is this cellular product available to all partners?
So it will be eventually. So right now we're in the final stages of testing, and that testing's been, we've had 2 or 3 partners helping us out with that, so we really, really appreciate that. So thank you to those partners. We're now moving into sort of the next phase of this, where any partner that's interested, contact your account manager, your partner experience manager, and we'll be able to get you signed up. There's an onboarding process that we need to go through, so we need to build up the pool, your usage pools. We need to get SIM cards out to you. You'll probably want to test or identify the CPE they want to use. So there's a bit of an onboarding period. But yeah, any partners can register their interest, start that onboarding experience, and then we can get you up and running. But yeah, it will be available to all of our layer 3 partners over time. Yeah, absolutely.
And can it be added to existing circuits?
Yeah, existing circuits, you can place a modify order and add it on, or it could be a brand new install. Either way is fine.
Fab. Thanks for your questions. So there is another one around the partner event. So will you be coming down south? We'll be taking the event somewhere near Londonish, somewhere down there, or are we going to keep it up north?
Yeah, no, great question. The show's going to go on the road, so it won't just be in the north. So no, I think one of the benefits of moving to this more regular event is we can do them in different locations rather than kind of one annual event. So really keen to get around the country, see as many of our partners as possible, and kind of open to where we do that. So I think I'd encourage all of our partners to give feedback there in terms of where they'd like to see those events happening, and we'll try our best to get around the country.
Thank you, Steve. Andy, probably one for you. Hardware for multi-gig. Do we have a specific vendor or an approved vendor that you would advise, or can we go out and see what's available?
Yeah, so there's not again, we like to give partners the flexibility to choose the CPE that's right for them and their customers. So we're not going to say you've got to use this vendor. unlike with FTTC and Sagia, where you've got to have a certified modem from OpenReach, so you've got to have a router that's OpenReach have tested and said will work with their network. Those restrictions aren't in place for FTTP, so you can use any CPE which that meets your own requirements. So pretty much all the vendors have got something out there that can handle those speeds. At Zen, we've chosen for our consumers to work with Eero, so that's Amazon's router brand. So we're working with Eero, and we're going to offer an Eero Pro 6E and an Eero Max 7. So that's two of their higher end devices. But we've also Fritzbox have got devices, Dratec have got devices, Zyzel, Technicolor, Cisco, TP-Link. They've all got devices which can support these speeds. As long as need to be able to handle PPP, they're going to need to have at least a 2.5 gigabit per second WAN port. But as long as they've got those, anything is more than likely going to work. And yeah, if it works on, order it, test it, or we can help support with testing if you want some support on that. But yeah, there's no special requirements or anything that is unusual about the faster service, apart from it needs to be able to handle the faster speeds.
Perfect. Hope that answers your question. Moving to the WR switch off, are you offering SOTAP, so ADSL for new fibre customers, non-fibre customers?
Yes, this one that's come a few times. So right now we're not offering SOTAP. ADSL and WLR will continue to be available until March 2025. We will have a replacement service in place so that you can migrate your ADSL circuits across onto a replacement before they're switched off. So we'll make sure that happens. It's around about 2%-ish of UK addresses that SOTAP covers, and as OpenReach build out FTTP, that's reducing, and likewise with other altnets. So I think our plan. Our priority is getting FTTP available to as many customers as possible, and then we'll, in the small parts of the UK where there's nothing else available, we'll make sure that those customers aren't just cut off and they aren't left without service. We'll make sure there is a replacement.
That's good to know.
Yeah, I think one of the challenges we've got with SOTAP is it's quite it's limited availability and it's quite expensive. So there's better value solutions out there that we think, and we want to make sure that partners have got access to those, rather than old legacy technology that's going to disappear in a couple of years anyway. So, yeah.
Great, thanks for your question, Steve. A couple more. What will the commitment be for 4G backup, and will it be linked to the broadband service contract?
Yeah, so it's just a 1 month contract on the 4G element, so you can link it to your broadband service. But if, so we're bringing in those 12, 24, 36 month contracts. If you take the broadband on 36 months, you don't have to have 36 months on the cellular backup. That's just a month. So you can add it for, if there was a special need to have it for 6 months, that's fine. Just put it in for 6 months. If you just need it for a month, again, that's fine as well. We're going to give you that flexibility. Yeah. And it'll be at a really low price anyway. So there's not, we're talking a few pounds per month. We're not talking tens of pounds per month. So the savings are not really there on the longer term commitments. Yeah.
Fab. Thanks, Andy. Steve, possibly one for you for someone anonymous. I've recently completed the Zen Net Promoter Score feedback. How is the feedback used?
Yeah, no, great question. And well, firstly, thank you for completing the survey. We're obviously really keen to hear your thoughts and feedback. So yeah, we capture all of that feedback, and then we meet with our teams to analyse results, to listen to the feedback. It could be product feedback that we share with Andy. It could be operational feedback we share with our operational teams, etc. And then I think in previous newsletters and obviously on these webinars too, we've done a kind of you said we did exercise. So here's the feedback we received. Here's our planned action as a result. We've also had our account managers and PX managers going back to individual partners with that feedback. So yeah, really keen to hear the feedback. We absolutely listen to it, and hopefully you'll see us act on that feedback too. So.
Perfect. Thanks, Steve. Yeah, that was in my any other business towards the end, a reminder to get your NPS survey completed. I know Mark Howarth and his team are going through each one, pulling out trends and asks and compiling a list. So, yeah, if you could get that done, that would be great. Let's see if there's any more questions coming in. City Fibre have built out into our nearest major city and Openreach. So we feel we need to resell City Fibre. What are our reseller options? So basically, City Fibre have built out to our nearest major city and Openreach have not. So we feel we need to resell City Fibre. What are our reseller options?
Yeah,
Let's pick it up.
yeah. Go on, you pick it up, Steve.
Yeah, happy to pick it up. Yeah, so up to now, obviously our integration's been with Openreach and BT Wholesale from a channel perspective. I think the reason we've not integrated it yet with City Fibre has been the coverage to business premises has been relatively low, which is obviously what most of our partners are selling this to business premises rather than consumer. Consumer coverage is good, but business coverage is quite low. That's starting to change, so we're starting to see improved coverage in business areas. So I think that's something myself, Andy, and the product team will review as to actually are we starting to reach a stage where there's sufficient coverage to make that worth investing in. Because obviously the debate we have is, do we do that versus some of the other things that Andy shared earlier? So that's, it's the same kind of resource that we're sort of utilising. So we have to sort of choose where do we deploy that resource. And I think up to now it's not really been worth it, but I think that picture's starting to change. So I don't know if there's anything else you want to add on.
No, I think that exactly right there. And yeah, we've only got so much resource we can deploy on developing things. So it's always a hard balancing act between do we do this thing or that thing, and ultimately we come down to, well, what do you want? What do partners want? Where's the demand? What feedback are we getting from partners? Whether that's through the NPS survey or just conversations with your account manager. So if City Fibre is high on your agenda and you want to be able to order it from us, please let us know, because that will influence our decision making. And the more of you that say, yeah, give it to us, the sooner we'll bring it out there, and because it'll push it up the priority list. So yeah, our decision making is based on some regulatory stuff we've got to do, like one-touch switching, but primarily on what do you want, and we'll bring that and we'll push that up the agenda. So if you want it, please let us know.
Perfect. Thanks, Andy. So just conscious of time, I think that kind of concludes most of the questions. So just a couple of updates from me. So obviously on the back of the annual partner event announcement, if you could send any suggestions to your partner experience manager or account manager as to what you would like to see, we'd welcome all feedback. As I said, the NPS survey went out last Friday, so if you could get that completed, we'd really appreciate that. And then the next partner playback, I think, is scheduled for December, I think, quite rightly.
I think towards the end of November, early December.
Fabulous. And I can't come here and not mention Witten Channel. So we have our first external event planned for the 19th of September in Manchester. I think we're up to 26 members in that network now from all different partner bases. If you would like to be part of that network, then give me a shout. I know we have a couple of spaces left for that event. But yeah, get in touch with me, your account manager, your partner experience manager. We are looking for members for that network. And is there anything else from you, Steve? Anything from you, Andy?
Just sort of summarise on the points I made earlier about there's a lot of items we've released or are just about to release, and appreciate I've rattled through them on this call. So if you want to know more about any of them, reach out to us and we can go into the detail of them. 30 seconds of me reading off a piece of paper is not going to do them justice, and they can add a lot of value to your business. So yeah, reach out to your account manager or partner experience manager and we can give you the info on any of the things that are particularly of interest for you.
Perfect. And as I say, there will be a feedback survey on this webinar of what you'd like to see more or less of. So if you could complete that as well. I feel like I'm asking you to complete a lot of surveys, but yeah, all of that feedback's really welcome. And Steve, just any final thoughts from you?
No, just a big thank you for all of you joining today's webinar. I hope you found it useful. And as you say, really keen to hear feedback, whether it's about webinars, partner events, whether it's about some of the portfolio items that Andy shared. Do get in touch. And yeah, thanks again for your time and attention. Really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you for joining, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.